We are live. Welcome in, friends. Welcome in to Notes from the Edge. This is the place we talk about the things we should be talking about, but we aren't. The conversations we should have been having all along. And welcome back to our guest, Steve Barton, who has become a regular here on Notes from the Edge. This is part two, something I am passionate about talking about. But let me tell you about Steve because we're so honored to have him back. He is the creator of what's called the Game of 10. He has a book coming out very, very soon. It's a framework designed to help high performers, leaders, entrepreneurs, and anyone that needs to move beyond fear, self-doubt, guilt, shame to create clarity, confidence, and alignment, not only in your work, but more importantly, in your life. His work explores awareness, identity, transformation, and the patterns we develop to survive that we may no longer need. But today, we're going to talk about something again that I'm very passionate about, and that is trauma bonds. Now, normally, when you hear about trauma bonds being talked about, it's from a female perspective. And typically, we're talking about narcissistic abuse when we talk about trauma bonds. So, what I wanted to get from Steve is a male perspective. Now, we were just talking. It is my philosophy that guess what, guys? Big news flash. We all have trauma. It is part of the human experience. So for us to create this divide is a little silly because we all go through it. So Steve has a process that I think is so super helpful that we're going to talk about today. Steve, welcome back. How's your day going, my friend? How are you today?
Well, first of all, thank you for that amazing introduction. I wish I was able to stand up and introduce myself that way.
It's always easier for someone else to do it.
Isn't it? I sound like a narcissist. So.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, we actually do have somebody who has NPD coming on the show, which is going to be fascinating too, I think.
Love
So,
it. I mean,
yeah.
it's if we're not aligned, we're narcissistic to some degree.
Oh, we all have narcissistic
we
tendencies at times.
I mean, a narcissist is identity, who we
Yeah.
think we are versus who we truly are. So that's by definition, it's a spectrum of leaving our who we are, our alignment with source energy. So once we do that, we're in ego. We're using our free will, which comes at a cost. It's no longer free. It's like,
Yeah. So, what's it costing you? That's a good question to ask. What's it costing you? So, Steve, talk to me about a trauma bond. From your perspective, what is it? What is a trauma bond?
well, I think it first starts out, we go on a date. Oh yeah, I get and you start hearing about their ex, so you start hearing about their mother or their father or their brother or somebody who's traumatized them. Oh yeah, I have same situation. We have so much in common. It's like, yeah, we're bonding with our mutual traumas, and it
Yeah.
sounds like a connection, and it certainly is until
And
it
that instant chemistry,
Oh,
right?
I
Yeah.
feel that she'll get me. She gets me. She knows me, likes me, and gets me. I can live with her because I can live with myself, and she can
Mm.
get me or he can get me better than anybody. So males do it, females do it, and then we have society. What is expected of a man? What's expected of a woman? So it
Mm.
becomes so overly complicated.
Yeah.
Versus both got to do the work together. That's what
Yeah.
we'll put together, and that's what usually will separate us in the end when
Yeah.
you don't do the work and you don't like yourself and you're not going to do the work.
Yeah, well, how I always describe it in mine and Brody's recovery, right? Because we're celebrating 8 years clean, and we 13th stepped our way into a healthy marriage. I wouldn't recommend. Comes with a lot of work, but
Mhm.
he does his work, I do my work, and we meet in the middle,
Yeah.
right? But you have to be if you're on the growth path, you need to be with somebody who's on the growth path. You can't take your hand and pull somebody up to you. It's just
No,
not going to work.
no,
You know,
you've got to have
can't
those
do it.
moments together, or else if you're too far apart, then someone's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Well, We're all crazy in some way, shape, or form.
I'm crazy.
I
I'm
did a LinkedIn post about there is not a normal brain out there. So I don't think there's a normal brain out there
I'm
that
crazy
exists.
like a fox. I'm crazy like a fox. Okay, so when someone says I think you're crazy, I say, "Yep, like a fox," because
Like a fox.
I
I
will
like foxes. Foxes are good spirit animals to have.
they are great. They will
Yeah.
figure stuff out. Yeah.
Sly, sly. Okay, so from a psychological perspective, it's a strong emotional attachment because you kind of see yourself, right? You're mirrors for each other.
Yeah.
But they're relationships that eventually, once the veneer wears off, once the dopamine hits stop coming, they cause pain, fear, confusion, manipulation, or harm, while also providing those intermittent moments of love, approval, relief. So what that does is it puts your brain on an oxytocin dopamine hit, then your adrenaline and cortisol comes in, then it tanks your serotonin. So you're dealing with physiological stuff as well as spiritual, as well as emotional. So when did you realize that you were in a trauma bond? Because for me,
Which
when
one?
they
Which
like, which one? How many? Which one? Which one are you talking about? The main one. I don't know. Is there a main one?
no,
Is there one that stands out?
no, but I'm aware right now. I'm in a relationship for 10 years. I have a first wife, trauma bond, second wife, final wife, trauma bond, girlfriend. I know her stuff, she knows mine, and we we accept each other's stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
fine. So
I
it's
love that you call your final wife the final wife.
life. No,
You're like, I'm not doing this again.
no, love who I'm with. And she doesn't want to be with me. She knows where the door is, and I want to
Yeah.
support her any way I can. But just
Oh, I tell Brody if this doesn't work, I'm done with dudes, man. I'm done. That's it. I'm a solo. I one time when we got our Italian Greyhound, there was a lady that had cleanest trailer I've ever seen, but she had 40 Italian miniature greyhounds in her house on this waterbed. It was trippy, and there was a running joke about me ending up being the Italian Greyhound lady, and I think not looking that bad actually. It's not looking that bad. So this bond, this trauma bond, is not created by love. And we think it is because it feels so intense. And this is my soulmate, and this is my twin flame, and this is the only one for me. That kept me in a relationship 6 years longer than it should have. Twin flame, only one for me. But it's again that cycle of pain and relief and repetition and getting in that loop pattern. I want to talk about this because I think this is important in how we repeat patterns in relationships. I said I had married my mother in
mhm.
my second marriage. I married my mother and I became my father. Two things I said I'd never do. Naturally, we do the things we say we never going to do. So, what are your thoughts on why? Why do we end up repeating those patterns from childhood until
because
when?
because we want to get the love that we didn't get from our mother or our father.
Mm,
You know, I went to a marriage thinking that it was going to make our marriage greater, but it was for my final life. It was a last ditch effort on her part. I didn't know we had any problems. I thought we had a good relationship, but I'm going to see Harold and Helen Hendricks, probably the best in the world for marriage counseling. It was at
wow.
in upstate, I mean, in the Berkshires. And it was eye opening and I loved it. And it's called Getting the Love You Want, is what the book they wrote. And people don't know how to love us because everyone is different. Everyone has a different language. Everyone has a different what's important. You know, how do
Mm,
they perceive what love is? You know, it's you can't get love from anybody because we are love.
mm. It's there.
It's there. It just is. That's what the isiness is of it all. You know, when
That's a Steve Barton quote. The isiness is it of it all. It
it's
is.
the
The
issiness. Get
isiness.
izzy with get.
Isiness.
I met this guy in Sedona.
Write
An
that
old
down.
yeah, getting izzy. He was an old guy from Sedona, living in a yeah like a hermit and but very smart, very smart. And yeah, he said, "I'm just getting izzy with the izzy." And that's what life is. Life is. It is what it is. But people get confused with what love is. And
And that confusion creates some crazy making behavior, and then we start acting crazy, and then it's just a downhill spiral from there.
and
So let's talk about men and mental health and what they're up against,
mhm,
because when I first started, when the trauma bond, when I first heard that word, was in patient rehab, and my response to five of the most brilliant psychotherapists I've ever met, um, told me I was trauma bonded. I said I was too smart for that. I was like, "There's no way. I'm too smart for that." And about a year later, I was like, "Oh shit, they're right. I'm in a trauma bonded relationship."
yeah,
So, but in my healing journey, there were a lot of hate on men spaces, a
oh,
lot of hate on men
yeah,
spaces.
yeah.
So, I mean, and spaces just staying in the blame game, staying in the victim mentality. So, let's talk about how men are conditioned.
We're conditioned the way I can speak for myself, okay? And I was raised traditional male and in New England. So, Maine, very Protestant or Catholic. There was either you were either Protestant or Catholic, Irish Catholic, French Catholic, or Protestant. And the Protestants, I didn't get the religious part of it as a lot of my Catholic friends got the religion and the that portion of it. So it kind of didn't get hooked up in a lot of religious guilt, shame, fear of self doubt. But I just didn't never got it. So I love religions, and as long as they're healthy ones, then perfect. And so it's society, what's expected of us.
Mm.
It's just a
Be a
constant.
man, right?
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What does it mean? It means that
Exactly.
what is masculine, what is feminine. We're both, Jung described it clearly with the animus and anima, is we're both masculine and feminine energies. And I took a course during COVID, and I got to know in writing my first book, The Father, the Son, the Aha Moment. And she did incubator church every Wednesday at 4. And she had a therapist that taught her about relationships, and in any relationship, whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, we'll stick to those types, and at that. But there's got to be a masculine or a feminine, or it cancels one of it out. So
Yeah,
someone's got to be the man in the relationship, and someone's got to be the woman. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes your husband's more feminine than you are. Sometimes you're more masculine than he is. So, but in
exactly.
general, it has to balance itself out, or the attraction is just not there.
Yeah. Well, and I love this pendulum you just mentioned, because I think a lot of times people think that relationships are 50-50, and that our partners need to carry 100% of our shit, and that's not the case. If anything, it can be 80-20, it can be 60-40. Both my husband and I struggle with weird brains, and the hardest times for us are when we both hit that 20 at the same time. But normally it's like a 60-40, where he's a little higher than me, so he helps me, and vice versa. And so there's no such thing as this equal relationship. They're gonna ebb and flow. As long as there's balance at the end of the day, then you're in healthy relationship. But there is no such thing as 50-50, because we vacillate in what our best is each day, right? Because we're
Yeah,
always doing our best, but our best changes each day.
yeah.
So
In the game of 10, you're just giving it's 100%, 100%. And whatever
100%.
whatever your 100% is that day, that's enough. Okay,
Yes, that's enough. That's
that's enough.
it. What you're giving
I'm
is enough.
exhausted. I don't feel good. I've just had a.
I'm cranky.
I'm cranky. That's my 100% today.
I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm cranky. This is my 100%
Yeah,
today. So, love must be earned. Men thinking love must be earned.
yeah,
Strength means enduring pain.
no, yeah,
Loyalty, no matter what.
mm,
And then the fixing, the rescuing, and the proving yourself.
oh, that's
I think that's big for
Well,
men,
well,
fixing.
that's what a narcissist does, is power control, okay?
Yeah,
And in politics and in business is power control profit. Okay.
yeah.
So anytime the ego or identity gets involved, it has to do with power and control. And everything you just mentioned is power and control and conditional. Okay. Love is not conditional,
Mm.
period. Love is unconditional. No terms and conditions. I love them. Do I agree with the behavior that's happening? That's something. No, that's a big fat I love you. No. Okay.
I love you, and
And,
I love you, and you're being an asshole right now.
right, and continue this, it's gonna be a big fat go, you know? No, and I think, I learned Course in Miracles. I don't know if it's in A Course in Miracles or not, but Marianne, when I did my coaching with her, I went to the Gestalt International Study Center first, then took this because she's been a mentor of mine for 33 years, and
I used to listen to her on cassette tape when I was 15 in my first car that I paid $400 for. Yeah, I just went to see her at the Art of Living Retreat Center in Boone, North Carolina. Yeah,
yeah, she's
yeah.
great, and I get to meet her when I don't agree with all her political views, but I love her as a human being, and so
Yes,
she's still my mentor, and spiritually and psychologically spot on. I mean,
yeah.
you have to. One of my favorite phrases she did was, "You have to love everybody. You don't have to have lunch with them." Okay.
It's
Yeah,
so simple.
it's
It's
so
just
simple. It's so
we overcomplicate all of this. We
yes.
overcomplicate all of this. So, but I think there's a huge amount of pressure on, and I'll use my husband as an example. There's a huge amount of pressure, especially in the South, right? In the South, there's to be a man. You got to be the provider and play football and get hit and do this and not be in the band but play football because that's what boys do. So
Bless his,
learning.
bless his heart.
Yeah, yeah, yes, and now he lives with me, so bless his heart. Bless
Yeah,
his heart.
we know
He picked
we in the North know what that means.
he picks a good teacher. I'm just gonna tell you that. He picks a good teacher for himself. So the adult male unconsciously seeks familiar emotional environments. I think that's important instead of healthy ones. So we're looking for what we know.
Yeah, and in general, I think Gray, Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus. What I took from that book is men want sex, women want security.
Yeah.
It
Safety. Yeah.
safety, yeah, safety, security. The man provides, the woman nurtures and builds a nest. I mean, is it always that way? No, but these expectations that we put on people, places, and situations are going to fail. These are.
Expectations are gonna fail.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah. You kept open communication and you
Mhm.
talk about it consistently because there
Yeah.
is that balance of what you're willing to accept and what you're not. I mean,
And that's a conversation that needs to happen too. Here's my deal breakers. Here's, how I want to roll. Can you do it? And hey, sometimes the answer is no.
yeah,
I can't do that. I had my hubby ask ask me last month. Okay, I'm menopausal, and because of my blood disorder, they can't treat it with
yeah,
anything. They gave me some Valium and said, "Hey, wing it, wing it." That
yeah,
was my medical diagnosis, was wing it. So he goes, hey, Lisa, do you think you could be a little more emotionally stable for the next couple of weeks? And I was like, no, I can't. The answer is no. I have a medical condition. So anyway,
good answer.
sometimes the answer is no. So
Sometimes love says no, and
yeah,
sometimes love says yes. So there's
yes,
yes, no, stay, and go. All right. And if you're
yeah.
gonna, and Lisa, if you were my husband, I'd say, why don't you stay in this part of the house for this amount of time, and you do your thing, you be you, and I'll be over here. Here's our
It's a
house.
good thing he's a musician with
Yep.
a music room. I have my creative office. He has his music room. It works out perfectly for us. This was important in your game of 10 framework info that you gave me. Um, a man may mistake anxiety for attraction. That
Yeah.
really hit for me. Or
Yes.
drama for passion, right? The crazy for passion.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
being needed as being loved, and sacrifice for commitment.
Yeah.
But that anxiety as attraction, like the butterflies and the feelings and the panic and it's anxiety, guys. It's
It's
not
a warning
chemistry.
sign. Warning sign. You're meeting you.
It's a mirror. You're looking in a mirror, an
Yeah.
unhealed mirror, by the way.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if you are in toxic relationships all around you, guess what, my friends? You're going to be a little toxic too. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow because I played the blame game. I did the whole, I was a narc abuse survivor. I hate dudes. I'm in these groups that we're all hating on them and we're victims. And then one day I had to wake up and go, whoa, wait, I was unhealed too. So I was toxic as well. So, but I thought that was important. Notice, is it anxiety or are you actually, is it their chemical attraction to this person? So, all right, a trauma bond is not created in 10, it's created and maintained within often. Talk to me about that. It's not created in 10. Talk
All
to me
right.
about that.
You have the game of 10, which is infinite opportunity, love, non-conditioned love. It's gratitude, grace, compassion, um,
Mm.
all those good things, you know?
The good things.
All
The
the good
good
things.
things.
That's the game of 10. And often, when spelled OFTEN, is the game often played 1 through 9. Okay. So
Because we want to be at 10.
we're naturally attracted to that consciously or subconsciously because we separated from it.
Mm.
And that separation is unconscious. And typically it starts as I think the Jesuits and Dr. Lipton, Bruce Lipton, talks about from the ages of 0 to 7, we're in theta, and we are conditioned. Our brains are conditioned to take in everything that we're experiencing from our mother and father or caregivers, important caregivers in our life think that's what it is. We're just programmed. And the Jesuits say, "Give me a child from 0 to 7, I'll give you the man." So when you're
Mm.
actually dealing with the traumas, I mean, birth is a trauma, you know,
It is.
it's a traumatic for for everybody. And then
Yeah. When I was giving birth, I was like, this is painful. Why are people saying how awful this is?
yeah,
And then because of my clotting disorder, I mean, there was only a 7% chance that I would bring a child to term and survive. So, yes, trauma. And we busted all the blood vessels in my face and my daughter's face. So, yeah, coming into this world, boom. In utero, you can
yeah,
have trauma, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, in utero. So, men can experience fear, self-doubt, guilt, shame, all of those things and stuff them down.
We're not trained in our society to have feelings. And women out there, you don't care about a man's feelings. Some, oh, I do. No, you don't. All right, to a point.
Brody says it's always about you and your feelings. So yeah, we
Yeah,
get there. Yeah.
women want. Here's how it works. The masculine energy, we want to be honored by a woman to know, honey, what do you think about this? So ladies out there, ask your husband. Don't ever ask them how they feel because you're going to treat them like a girlfriend. Okay. And if you don't like what they're going to say, you're going to think they're a bitch. Okay. So that's how it works. I know women as well as I know men. And so ask him what he thinks, and then you tell him how you feel.
I love that.
Okay. That balances out the energy. There's the giving and receiving. There's a reason there's a batteries have an Audi and an Indy. Okay. It's energy. Okay. So it's just how it works. So when you come home from work, ladies, when you start, what a lot of people now, women are so masculine, they become masculine at work in the workplace. They've been encouraged to leave the home, to get in a job, to do a man's job. Okay, they used to call it. My mother and father called it a man's. No, it's a job, and it is masculine because we're using our head. It's in our head. There's a lot of masculine energy. Can some women do it in the feminine? Some can do it. it's I think it's harder to, because it's such a logical, masculine man's world out there at high level
Yes.
um, jobs. There it is,
Yes.
and
In the
so
corporate arena, yeah, I had to get
yeah. And when
in
you
the
come
yeah.
home and you
Competitive tunnel vision. Yes.
yeah, and then when you
Yeah.
come home, you want to just get that masculine shit out.
Yeah.
And can if the man doesn't know what you're doing when you're quiet, what's going on? I mean, his job is to, I call it bleeding you, emotionally bleeding you. You know, there's a thing on YouTube, I can't find it anymore. The words, tell me more. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
that's
tell me
good.
more. When you start getting your masculine, men call it bitchiness. She just came home, started bitching about the day, and da 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 da. I just went into my office. Well, you just ruined that night. You ain't, you know, okay.
Yeah.
So a man who knows this emotional intelligence would say, let me, I just got home from work too. Give me 20 minutes because men need to go in the cave for about 20 minutes. Let's reconvene in the living room and tell me about your day.
I
Because
love
you,
that. We had to have a discussion about what our mornings look like.
mhm,
No talking about serious stuff in the morning. Bird plays his music to set his day. I come in here and I make my lists. And then we have an evening routine where we don't actually start talking about our day until he does the dog feeding. So at 5 dogs, showers, gets all the grease off from mechanicking, and then lays down for about 15 minutes, plays some music, and then we talk. But we had to have a discussion around what that looks like because what we were doing was not working for both of us, right? I wasn't getting what I needed. He wasn't getting what he needed. So now we have a routine and it works perfectly. And it leaves space for good communication. And then you can be present for the how was your day moment.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then tell me more. Then you go into tell me your day. The man has to hold the space for it because he's getting out the masculine that you want to get out. Because it ain't easy being a woman, and it ain't easy being a man. It ain't easy being human, especially when you
Mhm.
all these pressures on work and family and relationship and all the society, the whole thing. So, in the simplistic form, the man's job is to just listen to you, hold the space, be prepared, and then when you know, tell me more. So then so I'm looking at this and this, this. Tell me more about that. That sounds horrible. Well, yeah, and then you get that out, then get that, start bleeding them, okay? And then don't let them know you're doing it, and don't do it manipulatively. Do it naturally,
Yeah.
and oh, the sucker punches. And then what happened? Oh my gosh, you
It's
went to punch.
great. Tell
It's
me
like
more. And then what happened? Wow, that sounds
didn't make
awful.
sense, but
Beautiful emotional
it
intelligence.
just works. It works.
Yeah.
It works. So you got to teach your husbands or boyfriends or male or female, whatever. Two males, two. Someone's a man. Someone holds the more masculine energy. Someone holds more feminine. It's just
Yeah.
the way it works. And if you got, yeah, it's just the way
And
it
if
works.
it works, it works. But yeah, communicate, have a plan for
Yep.
what that looks like so that when you do communicate, you're sitting down and the communication is present and real and honest. And I love that. Tell me more. And oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I love
And,
that.
and
I love
then
that.
punches. Then what happens? I'm done.
Then what happened? Then
Yeah,
what happened? Then what'd she do?
yeah. And then when she's done, then then she'll ask you, "How was
Mhm.
your day?" And and then for the females, ask them how the men. What do you think about this? That's the most honorable thing you can do for a man. Ask them what they think. It's the worst thing you can do for a woman. Put them back in the masculine. Thinking
It
is
does.
masculine. Feminine is feeling. So men out there, ask your female partner or feminine partner how they feel, not what they think. They hate that. You're putting them in the masculine. Subconsciously, they're going to just,
It's
you
work. It requires work, right?
know,
Yes.
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about how trauma bonds form
Mhm.
because I think if we understand how they begin, so the connection, it begins with that intense connection, the dopamine, the oxytocin, all that stuff. Then stage 2 is the instability. That could be the criticism that shows up out of nowhere. For me, it was like boom, night and day flip. It's the flip that happens. Then the pursuit. Then you're in that roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then it continues, which reinforces the repeat, the pain relief, pain relief, pain
Mhm.
relief. Identity fusion. Talk to me about this.
Well, or she's just like me, and oh my God, I've met my twin flame. That we're just like
The only one.
we have so much in common. Okay, and
Yeah.
so until they touch upon your resistance to the pain that you felt, and the
Mm.
ego is all about I don't get it, I don't like it, I don't like you. And if you touch what I'm protecting, consciously or subconsciously, I'm going to attack, I'm going to defend, and
Mm-hmm.
I will hold on to that without even knowing I'm doing it.
I love
When-
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. The defensiveness comes boom. It's like
Mhm.
it's just boom, straight from your gut. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
when the Course in Miracles says, when you defend a lie.
Mm.
And that's when if I ever find myself, I don't defend myself very often, but when I do, usually it happens when I'm tired, something happened, and like triple things, like boom, 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 ho, it just,
Then it's like boom.
and
Yeah.
then I just got it. Then I feel defensive, and I just shut up. I shut down. I just said, I got to process some stuff. My girlfriend I said, I got to process some stuff. Okay, so I have
Which means I'm helping us. Okay. By the way, friends, that means if somebody says, I do not have the capacity for this at this time, this was hard for me to learn. That
yeah.
means my husband is trying to protect us from getting into the heated argument that could be the heated argument, right? So it's a boundary. So then we need to honor it. If somebody needs the space to even leave the house, know they're going to come back. But especially if you have abandonment issues,
Yeah.
but yeah, honor that, honor that. So there are 6 declarations that you use that
Mhm.
I think are pure magic. So you have in here, a man must first become aware of fear, self-doubt, guilt, shame operating beneath the
Mhm.
attachment. So that's the acknowledgement, that's the observation, that's not neutral, that's quantum physics, quantum mechanics. Once you observe it, you start to change it. Let's talk about these 6 amazing declarations. What are they?
They are. Let's do it together. I sent
I
you them.
love it.
And send them out to your guests if they ever want to get it. Let me know how I can get them to them or you. Um, well, basically, the game of 10 is all about declarations. It's based on the premise, and I call it the fact, that we're all appointed 10. Okay. And that is, we are awareness, we're consciousness, we are an aspect. Marianne Williamson cleared it up with me when she started talking about we're all God. And so I said, give me this. So I'm God. She says, Steve. And I was the only man, okay, writing a book together. And I was the only white male boomer and amongst 19 women. And on this session, Incubator Church, there were 12. There's usually 12 every Wednesday. And I goes, so tell me how this works. Well, I'm God. She says, and I'm talking one-on-one with her, like I'm talking to you, but there are 12 others on the call. And she goes, Steve, do you control the sun, the moon, the universe and the planets and everything that's involved in it? And after she said that, I go, maybe.
I'm too smart for that. I love it. Maybe.
She just
Maybe.
gave me a deadpan look.
That's fantastic.
And I gave it 3 seconds. I said, listen, I don't know how it works. Okay. She
Yeah.
goes, you are an aspect of God, special, not special. Everyone is. Okay. So that's what 10 is. When I declare these, and everyone who says these, that's what we're saying. We are an aspect of it. We're always looking or are connected. We're always connected to it. Sometimes we're aware that we're in it, and sometimes we have free will to get out of it and think we can do a
Mm.
job. Okay. We think we can do a better job.
It's that ego hopping back in, right?
There he goes. I can do a better job than that. Yep. Oh,
Yep.
tempting. Really? Let's try it.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
then you get Dr. Phil says, how's that working for you?
It's not. It's
No,
not.
no.
Yeah. So if it's not working, friends, we have something that even as you say these declarations, you can literally feel your physiology changing. I did yesterday. It was
Let's
fascinating.
let's do it again for your audience and see how they feel. And then check in with, and I'll explain what it does. So I am 10.
I am 10.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I do enough.
I do enough.
I have enough.
I have enough. It automatically puts you in a place of gratitude.
Yes. Yes. And no guilt, no shame, no fear, no self-doubt as well. It shuts off our reticular activating system, which our ego uses to keep us safe. The ego, you get all these things. The ego's bad. The ego's the devil.
No, the ego has done a good job. I mean, it kept us alive for this long, but sometimes it gets in the way now.
Because we're using it as a guidance system versus a tool.
Yeah.
Our ego is our identity. You walk into the supermarket and said, what's your name? I'm God. I'm an aspect of God. I don't have one. You'll get the ambulance. You'll get 911 call very quickly.
I live in the deep south. I'm not walking around saying that. Oh my God, they'll come burn my house down.
I'm not stupid either. So it's we have it. I think that people get. Let me go over this first. And the declaration I am 10 is a statement of who we are. Special, not special. Everyone is. Whatever, how many people are out there, everyone is, everything is. All right. And then the next two phrases, I'm doing the best I can with the awareness I have. It goes for everybody too. Everyone's doing their best. Bless their hearts. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm always right with the awareness I have. Everyone's always right with the awareness they have. Some people are walking around with lack of awareness, but that's okay. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
It's not our job to make them more aware. Okay.
No, absolutely not. And you can't. And if you try, you will drive yourself batty. You can meet people where they are, or you cannot have lunch with them,
Right. Or you can, if you are, then you might be a Karen. So
Funny.
So those first two, the second two phrases are declarations of our innocence. And I even call it divine innocence. And the next three phrases, I am enough, I do enough, I have enough, put you in present moment awareness, in the present moment. So the be, do, have, the am, do, and have. What do we am, being, doing, and having every minute of every second of every day? The universal space, the universal quantity. Time is now, present moment, infinite, universal quantity, which is also infinite, is enough. Now is always and always will be enough.
I love it.
What
I
you
love
do
it.
right now, it's enough. What you have right now is enough. And who you are right now at every moment of every day is enough for right now. And it doesn't mean that this is it, because we're also intuitive, intentional, energetic, or spiritual beings having a physical experience. So this is where we, from this place of awareness, when you say these phrases, you shut off that chatterbox mind that has 60,000 thoughts a day. Okay.
Yeah.
So you shut it off.
How many of them are negative too? Exactly.
80%. It's been proven. Cleveland Clinic did a study, famous study, that 80% of the thoughts are from the past, 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% from the past, 80% of those are negative.
We're stuck on a loop. Yeah.
You don't play those games. It's a gambling. That's a casino I don't want to play in. Okay.
I don't gamble. Yeah.
No, I don't either, because I know they win. And then, so anyways, it's really that's the game off, but that is the game often played. So this shuts the mind down. So getting back to, just because so many people said, "Oh, this is my enough." No, I need more. Okay, more money, more time, more this, more that, or I don't have enough. So you're either not enough or too much.
Past or present.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or past or present. So anxiety, future thinking, guilt and shame, past thinking. So
Yeah.
this is where the game often plays is the least amount you do it, 9. Okay. Then the
Got it.
more you do, and each time you get to 8 to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, you're separating from who you truly are.
Mm.
And it ain't pretty the further you get away.
And it feels terrible. It creates emotional suffering, right?
Then you
We
find
create so much of our emotional suffering ourselves. We do.
100%, 100%, all of it by
Yeah.
suffering. Descartes, I think it was Descartes or somebody, philosopher said, suffering is thinking. You know,
Yeah.
it's a
To
thought.
think is to suffer.
Well,
I'm taking that one. To think is
well,
to
I think
suffer.
I think therefore I am. I say I think therefore I'm not. Okay, so that's what I say.
I
And
love it.
you know, Buddha called it suffering is thinking. So it's really the detachment of the thought. So you have a thought, it's a tool. Our brains, everything about us, we have given to us as tools to use from awareness. So I have a thought, it's a tool. I have a feeling, it's a tool. I have an emotion, it's a tool. I have a mind, it's a tool. I have a body, it's a tool. I have an identity, it's a tool. I have an ego, it's a tool. Use it, or it will use you in the space where you're at in that moment, separated from 10. It fills it in with addiction. Every addiction is our identity trying to fill in that gap with
Mhm.
something outside of ourselves.
Yeah. The path back to 10. What I love is you say recognize the cycle without judgment.
Yeah.
No self-judgment.
No.
Man, self-judgment can be brutal. When
Oh,
I first started reframing thoughts,
mhm.
I realized that my inner critic was telling me I was stupid. You're such a fuck up. You're so stupid. You'll never have healthy relationships. It was on a reel
Yeah.
in my head. And I
Yep.
had to start with one thought at a time.
Yep.
And I had to go with the statement of fact, which is I'm actually a highly intelligent woman. But
Mm.
it was one thought at a time.
Yeah.
Sometimes this stuff is not fast, right? But if you use tools like the 6 declarations, you can pull yourself into the present and be in the present more consistently throughout your day. That is 80,000, 60,000 thoughts, and 80% of those are negative. That's a lot of that's a lot of heavy thinking for the day.
Yep.
That's
Uh,
a lot of heavy thinking.
I don't want to leave your audience. I don't know how much time we have, but I want to make sure they have a tool for letting go. People think they have to forgive a person, place, a situation that comes up because when you say these phrases, it does open up Pandora's box in your mind.
Mm.
Okay, that is your mind is Pandora's box, just so you know. And so come up if you don't have a way of just this fact alone is we forgive the thought about not the person, place, or situation. And you don't do it for them, you do it for yourself, capital S. Be very capital S selfish for that. Because those guilt, shame, fear, and self doubt are thoughts of I'm not enough, I don't do enough, I don't have enough, I'm not 10, I'm not
It was
doing
all
enough.
my fault. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're an asshole, okay?
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
They
no,
ruined my life.
no, you either learn from them or you repeat the pattern. Mistake.
Exactly. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. If you want to get off the roller coaster, you're gonna have to learn what they were dropped into your life to teach you. They were teachers.
Yes, 100%. And
Yes.
it is painful. It's I call it yesterday. I talked about the nail going in. It's painful. There's hurt, the fear, self doubt, guilt, and shame going in. It's painful coming out too. So I
Yeah.
did yesterday talked about how I created. Marianne taught me also how to. She does it. There's many ways to roam. There's many ways to do it, but creating an altar in your head with a temple. Create your own divine temple in your mind because we're an idea in the mind of 10, oh God, and God and 10's an idea in the mind of us. So we're an idea that is creative ideas, creative visualizations, and then we turn them. For that's the right brain. Then it goes into the left brain processing for logic. How are we going to do this? How are we going to build
Back
this?
and forth,
It
back and
goes,
forth.
yeah, or in flow, or in harmony, maybe
Harmony is where you want.
an
Yeah.
infinite flow, and an ellipse.
Infinite flow,
Yeah,
unconditional love, forgive
yeah,
the thought. Don't
forgive the
force
thought.
forgiveness on the person. See, I love that because you're not forcing forgiveness on the person, right?
No,
You're just forgiving the thought.
you have to,
That's big.
because thoughts are the form. The first form is a thought form.
Yeah.
And then we use those thought forms, and then we use the tools of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and the mind and the body to create. We're here to recreate.
Stories.
We're here
Yeah.
to recreate. We're here to recreate. Guess what? Heaven on earth.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
all create heaven on earth. I
yeah,
love that. I
yeah.
love that. So practice the 6 declarations daily. I am going to be incorporating these into my morning routine for sure. Keep them close to me if I start to loop. I just think they're so beautiful. I can't wait for your book to come out. From the game of 10 perspective, a trauma bond is not evidence of two people who are deeply connected. It is evidence that awareness has become entangled with fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame.
Which is great if you're willing to do the work with that, because
As a teacher.
yeah, each
Yeah.
of each other,
Yeah.
and have some great mentors around you to recognize these as bonds. If someone has issues with their mother and father still now, and haven't done the work, they're going to create. It's going to you're going to become their mother and father, and vice versa.
It's
So
gonna show up. It's gonna show up, my friends. It's
has
gonna
to.
show up.
It
All right,
has
here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure these 6 declarations are in the description of this particular podcast. So, Steve, thank you for being a guest. You have become a regular on here. We're gonna have you back on when you go into tunnel vision and finish your book, and when you go into pre-sale, I'd love to have you back on so we can get people into the pre-sale list, so we can get you up to that #1 bestseller spot. So thank you for sharing your wisdom, your perspective with our audience. Before we wrap up, I want to ask a different question. Yesterday, the question is, what did you perform to survive? Today, the question is going to be, what do you think we need to be talking about more of that we're not discussing?
everything.
Let's talk. Let's
Let's
just
talk about
talk.
everything. And
Yes,
what do
I
you
love
what do
that
you
answer.
what do you we're not supposed to talk about politics, religion, or sex. Okay. So those are the three things I highly recommend people talk about. Okay.
Oh my God. Those are the things I usually stay the farthest away from on my podcast,
Oh,
especially
I
on TikTok.
know. So
Oh, on
audience talk
TikTok. No
about it.
politics, religion, or sex,
Yeah.
dudes. Come on.
It needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about in a healthy way. And
Healthy ways.
way.
Yes.
Healthy way is, setting clear boundaries. Right. So yeah,
Oh, we
politically.
could go on. We have so much
Oh,
to talk about. All
oh
right,
yeah.
my friends, thank you for joining us on Notes from the Edge. Remember, always ask yourself, well, we're going to make sure you have these declarations because they will help bring you into the present, into a beautiful place of gratitude, get you off those loops if your mind is looping. Always ask yourself the question of what did you perform in order to survive? Steve, did you have anything to add before we wrap up?
Never, when you say these phrases and stuff comes up, never beat yourself up, ever.
Yeah,
We can be the most abusive to ourselves more than anyone
certainly.
can do it to us.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Watch that inner critic, my friends. All right, my friends, I'm your host, Lisa Lacey, writer, trauma educator, executive advisor, author of the upcoming memoir, Notes from a Certified Madwoman. If Steve ends up with a podcast, I'll come on when my book's in pre-sale. Guys, we will see you next time. Welcome to the Edge.